Hello, colleagues. Mary Jordan, your librarian, and today I'm here just to do an extremely quick recap, extremely not in depth, of this is our discussion series for the spring semester, and in this one we talked about universal design learning. This is not my area of expertise, so that's why I'm going to be fast, and I'm going to show you the resources that will help you so that we're all going to be better at it. All right, I'm going to start here by sharing my screen and let's go to the cast, folks. I feel like that's an acronym, but I'm not sure. Um, these are the folks who can definitely tell you all about universal design, including, what it means. But basically, the idea is, I mean, you think you're teaching welding and sonography and history, and you're doing that, of course, but I mean, you're not there just to talk about your topics. You're there to actually teach it to people. And universal design is the idea that everybody's brains are going to be different, and the way that everybody is going to take in your information is going to be different. So, hey, let's, be good at this. Let's be very explicit in designing our courses to make sure that they do reach out to a bunch of different people. So they have, I'm just kind of scrolling down so you can see this. They have all of this different information on the website, and I will link to this below. Um, about publishing. So if you want to read some of their material, but the post-secondary professional development, I mean, that's us. That's cool. Also, we could also use the workforce professional development material. So let's click on over here and get a little bit of information from them about what universal design is. And I love this quote right here. When a flower doesn't bloom, you fix the environment in which it grows, not the flower. I mean, yeah. And I know that I mean, you're teaching and you're so overwhelmed and you're so swamped and you've got so much stuff already put together. And the last thing you want to do is say, okay, well, let me do this class and all of this stuff, but let me kind of build some other things into it. It sounds so daunting. And yes, yes, it is. But just keep in mind, universal design means that now your class will be better for everyone. Hopefully, that also includes you. But your class will not be better just for a couple of folks who have this specific issue with the way your class was focusing before, or this specific issue. Everyone will be better. Everyone will learn better. And I mean, if you're not thinking about how to make everybody learn better, what are we doing here? All right. So this is a list of the some of the classes, the I guess all of the classes, but I think I just sorted to this to the post-secondary. So things that are relevant probably to most of our instructors here. You can sign up for these. And I believe some are available at no cost, some are available at a cost. And faculty, please talk to your dean about working on getting some faculty professional development funds for that. They also have these tips and articles. And I was hoping they had a newsletter because I got to be honest, I will not go back to a website and check on a regular basis. But I did discover they don't have a newsletter, but they do have, as far as I can see, they do have this blog called The Learning Experience, or I'm sorry, a podcast called The Learning Experience. And I love a podcast because it just comes right to me. And I don't have to go look for it, it just appears on my phone. So if you're a person who also enjoys a podcast, it's called the Learning Experience Podcast. And hey, I mean, it's good to have a few ideas dropped on you. But what does universal design learning mean? Again, please understand that I'm not an expert. I'm just showing you where to find information and kind of getting everybody started who wasn't able to be at our event. And our discussion was really good. So I'm scrolling down this page where they talk about the guidelines. And this really seems like the key. So the goal of UDL is learner agency. That is purposeful and reflective, resourceful and authentic, strategic and action oriented. Ooh, neat. You notice when I rolled my cursor over that, that I could listen to things, I could listen to it, I could click to translate it, I could click for a dictionary definition, but they do give me a link to Learner Agency. And look, I got to know what things mean. So I opened that, and they have a page for the goal of UDL, Learner Agency, and they really break it down into a lot more pieces. If there's any fault that I might have with it is that there's so much information that they're really trying to help us with. It can be a little overwhelming on where to start. So I'm just going to tell you, as a fellow beginner, start here. Start on this chart. All right, so we're on the guidelines page, and there's this handy chart so we can talk about engagement. How do you engage with your students? And talk about how they access the class, what kind of support they're going to need, and then down the side here, executive functions. So everything is in this handy little chart. You can click on things, you can figure things out. They define things. You can click on everything and it'll take you to another page and define it and walk you through it all. So I, I don't think it's just me. This really seemed like a lot. I kind of got overwhelmed. But when I just sat with it and I always tell myself, "Look, you don't have to do everything all at once. Get one or two of these things down. Pick one of these boxes. So design multiple means of action and expression. That's one of the categories on my chart, and that goes up and down, and then I could look across, and as I design multiple means of action and expression, maybe I want to think about how to do support. They give you suggestions for how to do that support, and I can click on any of them and go get more ideas. So just pick one thing. Don't do everything today. Pick one thing, learn a little bit about it, kind of get some ideas, and go from there. All right. And then um, if you do feel really overwhelmed, I thought this was helpful. So I'm trying not to scroll down this page too fast. On their downloads page, they give you options of the little chart that we were just looking at. So that little chart had all the hyperlinks, it had stuff to look at, very useful. But maybe in your best learning, you would prefer a chart that doesn't have numbers on it. You would prefer a chart that does have numbers, or you would prefer a chart that just has just the titles of everything and not all the information under each square. It sounds confusing, but it might make it easier to just take some of the information off the chart that we were looking at. It's going to take a little study. It's going to take a little time. I mean, there's just no getting around it. You're learning a better way to teach. And maybe you started teaching this year, maybe you started teaching 20 years ago. I mean, it doesn't really matter. I've been teaching for, well, yeah, going on 20, going on 20. That seems like so long. Um, and I mean, it's important to always be aware. There's every year will be new things. Every year you should be updating your skills. I feel like this universal design, as I'm getting into it and I'm kind of finding my way. If you're watching me in the little screen, you can see me kind of waving my way through swimming into this. It can be a lot, but don't worry. So, our final screen for the day is, of course, the SATCC library website. I did just this very basic search up at the top, Universal Design for Learning. And we have 4,575 results. I will put this link again underneath here. You can click on the subjects. I'm over on the left side of the screen. Always, you can click on subjects to see what might be the most helpful to you. So, are you interested in machine learning? Are you interested in universal design here? In teaching, teachers, human beings, um, physics? Sure. And then I just apply those filters. I'm down to 1,212 results, and I can see what's going to be the most useful for me. And just off the top of my head, I'm going to say this result right here, that's a book, Design and Deliver, Planning and Teaching Using Universal Design for Learning. Cool. I mean, that does sound really helpful. So maybe go with that. There's an older version and then a 2021 version. You can click over on your left side to only see peer-reviewed journals, but I mean, if you're trying to publish, that's important. But if you're not, you're just trying to get information, being able to look through a bunch of different books and newsletters might be more useful to you. Okay, I said it was going to be quick. It's never quite as quick as I think, because I think this is a huge topic. I'm very much learning about this. This is the first year that I have really ever worked with this. And so I reached out to the accessibilities office, and Avery there helped me to kind of work through it a little bit. So I'm feeling a little bit more confident, but I know I have a long way to go. And it's a lot, but hey, it's always a lot to keep learning. The point to what we're doing here is to get the information to students. I've said this about a bunch of different kinds of teaching because I always try to remember it for myself. If I'm just standing there just talking, I might be having a good time just talking, but if nobody's learning, then kind of a waste. All right, so this week was Universal Design Learning. Check the resources below if you have questions. I would reach out to the accessibilities office first because they're the ones with knowledge, but I know they're overwhelmed and so busy. If you reach out here to the library, I can help you to find some more information. I'm not your subject expert, but I will help you to find information so that we can all just kind of keep moving forward with our skills. All right, I will see you next time. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.